Testing 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to our August Fireside Chat. I know we don't typically have an August Fireside Chat, but with so many things going on at Horizon House and moving parts, a month can seem like a quarter here if you're not careful. So we didn't want to have any gaps this pivotal year. So I'm grateful for all of you who can make it. We know this is a holiday weekend. You're going to have to see a lot of me today. We have a lot of team members who are really enjoying this last holiday weekend of the summer. So we have a lot of people out today. So I want to kick us off. I'm going to do a little something different than what I had planned, but I want to kick us off just sharing two phenomenal things that happened yesterday that, you all know, but it just was such great affirmation for me. So Christy's not here, but I just want to share, we had our first meeting with the Washington State Housing Finance Commission. And this is, really what kicks us off for this financing activity for the West Tower, as well as some of the funds that are going to continue to support our master planning. I have to be honest, you have your point of reference, you come with baggage. I'm used to things in Michigan, which are just never smooth, sometimes a bit dramatic and, ugly. So, of course, I've got to get up for anything. I'm like doing all the research on all the commissioners, what they care about. And so one of the things I saw was a lot of affordable housing. So then I got really nervous because our project, it's a big price ticket. So, you get on the meeting and there's this gentleman named Dan Schilling. He's a longtime commissioner, great respect for Horizon House. But he said, I'll, call you guys, we'll have a call in the week. We'll do some prep work. We never heard from Dan. So, of course, now I'm like, oh, what are we going to do? So Christy and I, we put everything together. We have our plan of action, have our time with the commission. And as soon as they introduced us, one of the commissioners said, oh, Horizon House, I know Horizon House is great. It's awesome. We're so happy to support this. And I'm like, and we didn't even say anything yet. So, that the reputation, and I'm going to be honest, this is the reputation that all of you and all of the residents before you have built. It carries weight, and it speaks volumes. We said our piece. We said what we set out to say. But the mood, the tone, the mindset, it was already determined as soon as they heard Horizon House. So I just wanted to share that with you. And it was smooth and it was wonderful, but yeah. And kind of a follow-up, we just had yesterday was such a feel-good day. Camilo, who's on our sales team, and with the help of Diane, planned this fabulous referral event at the Columbia Tower. I was trying to see. We had some residents. Connie and Roger Williams was there. All right, Connie and Roger, are you here right now? Okay, I'm not sure if I see them, but they were there to support. We had some West Tower depositors that were there, but it was a lot of new people who had friends or they were invited by friends who were depositors. Small, intimate, like small meaning 20, but it was so feel good because again, you're talking to people. There's no hard sell here. People know people who are here. Sometimes they kind of just want to, confirm what they've heard or what they think is true, but what they think is just phenomenal. And these were some really wonderful people who were there. They were all like just Horizon House residents. You're talking to them. They do all the same things you do. They dress like you. Just phenomenal. They knew people there. And out of the group of 20, there was like one who didn't know anybody, she didn't know anybody there. But guess what? She was one of the last people to leave because she was talking to everybody. And so it just, a great group of people who, again, they learned about Horizon House because they know someone or there's somebody they admire who lives here. So they're coming, they want to know more. The biggest obstacle we have is just people thinking that, is it the right time? Do I need to wait? We're always like, absolutely not. But it's never about, is Horizon House right? That's not the thing. So Thank you for all of you who continue to share your experience, with friends, associates. Please think about the people you worked with. Continue to share. It really makes a difference. So thank you. All right, I'm going to kick us off now. So I want to share this picture. This is my cousin Tiffany and her husband Tori. I got a call from Tiffany last week that just made my day. This November, she and her husband, for Thanksgiving, they have some friends that live in, I think, is it called Lacey? Who live in Lacey. They've lived all over. They've lived in Alaska. Her husband was the director of the Anchorage Opera. They lived in Ashland, Oregon. He was the director of the Ashland Shakespeare Theater. So they've traveled. They live lots of places. Now he's a CEO of Arts Midwest, so they live in Minneapolis. So she said, we're coming to visit. Do you have time, to spend a day together? And so I'm like, absolutely. I'm so excited because when we moved here, everybody said they would come visit. We've not had any visitors. So this will be our first, family that is coming. They live this beautiful lifestyle. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So, of course, I've got, you won't see me on the 25th of November. I've got to have that day off to prep because they're wonderful. They're wonderful. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring them to Horizon House because I have to tell you, they are perfect Horizon House residents in about 15 years. They're phenomenal. Tiffany, she's a former on and off Broadway performer. She still sings and coaches others. Tori was an opera singer. They met in the arts in New York City and got married, fell in love and got married. And they've been traveling the world and doing art in a different way since then. But it's interesting. When we were younger, Tiffany, she always knew she wanted to be a star. So I want to be a star. And, at that time, I thought, I'm going to be an intellectual. So I thought my dream was far more realistic than hers. But wouldn't you know it, hers came true. She's the one who had her dream come true. And so, I didn't always take her so seriously. I remember one time she was touring actually with Jesus Christ Superstar. Came to Detroit, we're going to have dinner. And, here I was. That was when I was, thought I was on my road to being an intellectual. And my brand of intellectualism was, just worry about the world and you couldn't be happy. That was, what I thought. And you read and you're stoic. So I'm having dinner with her and, she's got all her energy and she's performing and she's in character all the time. And so, I'm talking to her and I'm weighted down by these issues that I really had no power or skill to solve. And Tiffany, on the other hand, she's radiant and joyful. And, in my youthful arrogance, I kind of chalked up her joy to like ignorance is bliss. She doesn't know what's going on in the world. And so finally I asked her, why are you so happy all the time? And, she said something to me that has stuck with me for the past 30 years. She said, happiness is a choice. And I make that choice every day. And so, at that time I didn't really get it, but it stuck with me. And as life grew more complicated, I began to understand that Tiffany was not naive at all. Quite the contrary. She wasn't ignoring this world's difficulties, but she was being intentional and choosing to create the life that she wanted. And rather than letting the world, kind of get to define her, she chose to define the world for herself. And that reminds me a lot of Horizon House. What we have here, it doesn't happen by accident. It's created every day by residents, by committees, by staff members, and by each act of kindness and generosity, and by the choice to embrace joy together. And so as we're about to enter this tremendous season of change, and this change, it's coming no matter what. But what you do get to choose is how we deal with it and how we feel about it. So I am just encouraging all of you to choose happiness every day. So thank you. We have our agenda is not as robust today. Again, we don't have as many presenters. Lots of team members are out. But as you can see, here's our agenda. We've got I've just done my overview. I'm going to do the new staff introductions. Then Valerie's going to come up and introduce you to our new residents. We've got Bonnie Kistler, who's our assisted living sales and outreach manager, who's going to come up and talk with you. Then we're going to have a wellness update. Then we're going to have our philanthropy team and our caring partners and caring co-chairs come up. Brian Holtz is going to give us an operations update, which we always love. And then we're going to have me close out with announcements and bright spots. So I'm going to start with our new staff introductions, and I'm really excited today. I hope that many of you had a chance to attend kind of the meet and greet with our new executive chef, Chef Joey Cabrera. So Joey just started with us last week. And then we also have Tan Nguyen, who is our new environmental services supervisor. It's been a long time coming, but Tan is bringing some phenomenal experience here, and we're excited to have him. And then we have Alicia Sabari. I know Alicia's in the back. Please wave, Alicia. We're so happy to have Alicia on board. She's joined our sales team as a sales manager. You'll get to know Alicia, but just adding strength to our sales force. All right, I am going to now turn this over to Valerie, who's going to come up and do our new resident introductions.
Thank you. Good morning. Oh, I love that. It is my pleasure to introduce just a few of our newest residents. If you don't mind, would you just stand up and wave since you're here in person? Ed and Pat Wagner. Many of you already know Ed and Pat. Ed earned his BA from Princeton, MD from SUNY in Buffalo, and Masters of Public Health from University of North Carolina, and worked as an epidemiologist on faculty at University of North Carolina and University of Washington, was founding director of Center for Health Studies Group Health Cooperative, volunteered as faculty at the Lifetime Learning Center, is an elected member of the National Academy of Medicine, and a Vietnam veteran. He is interested in jazz and classical music, the history of religion, walking, and hiking. Thank you for your service, Ed. And his beautiful wife, Pat, who is not happy with her picture, part of why we wanted you to stand. We never are. Pat earned her BA from Wittenberg University and JD from Duke University, and worked as a civil trial lawyer and did volunteer work to assist survivors of domestic violence. She is a member of Women's University Club and is interested in painting, ceramic sculpture, flower, vegetable, and pea patch gardening, and is currently working her magic on their garden terrace. Welcome to Horizon House, Ed and Pat. And Hazel and Jeff just happened to sit right in front of them. Thank you. Jeff was born in Seattle. He earned his BA in urban planning and worked as a union carpenter, including 50 years as a union member. Jeff is interested in design, music, and environmental issues. He is a member of Carpenters Local 30 and University Friends Meeting, and served as a chaperone on the Kiwanis Club ski bus, on the ski patrol, and on church committees. If you ever have a chance to go look at some of his creations in their apartment, do. Hazel was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She earned her BA in music education and MA in applied behavioral science, and worked as a music teacher, psychotherapist, and a county designated mental health professional. Hazel plays the piano and is currently taking jazz piano lessons, and is also interested in cooking, reading, socializing, puzzles of all kinds, and is also a member of University Friends Meeting. Together, Jeff and Hazel were foster parents for the Casey Family Program as well. Welcome to Horizon House, Jeff and Hazel. And next up, we have assisted living updates with Bonnie.
I can handle that.
Well, I don't know, I screwed it up last month.
Maybe. Thanks, Val. Good morning, everyone. I just thought I'd take this opportunity to reintroduce myself. I am the Sales and Outreach Manager in Assisted Living. And many of you joined us for a fantastic party the other week. I just want to thank everyone that came up to enjoy the music and the food. If you weren't there, this was an opportunity simply to come say hello, see some of the new digs up on the 3rd floor. And if you haven't been, I encourage you to reach out and I'll be happy to show you around. I'm sure that we'll have some more fun events up there. But today I kind of wanted to take a chance to reintroduce myself, explain a little bit about what I do here, what is my job. And my role is to build awareness of Horizon House Assisted Living, and I do that both internally and externally. So that means doing some outreach in the community. I meet with people that don't live at Horizon House. I field phone calls that are referrals. A lot of people reach out. They know somebody that lives here, and they think that maybe this could be a good fit for them, coming straight into assisted living, and that's something that we can do here. I support residents with respite stays and permanent transition, and sometimes that's a sudden or unexpected change. I educate residents on the lifestyle up on the 2nd and 3rd floor and the care. And this one's a big one. Having the opportunity to educate, to have discussion, to build rapport, to get a feeling for what it's like on the 2nd and 3rd floor is really the part that I enjoy. I'm 100% available to support when we're reacting to an emergency or a sudden change, but what I love is the getting to know people and talking about what things could look like down the road. I advocate for our residents to live their best life, and that's a big part of the conversation. What does that mean? What does that look like for each person? What does your best life what does that look like? And I assist residents in moving proactively. So those folks that are planning ahead. Why should we meet? I honestly have your best interest in mind. I was very deliberate in making a move to work at Horizon House. Understanding this culture and getting to understand it even more every day, I know I made the right decision to make a move here. And some people have a little hesitancy when they see my title or when Lori introduces Bonnie, the sales manager, a little cringe. And I don't blame you. I'm a little cringy around salespeople too, if I'm being totally honest. I was a little nervous when someone suggested I move into sales. I thought, sales, psh. But it really isn't about that. It's really about getting to understand people, where their life is now, where they want it to be, and determining if I have a product that might support that or if there's something else out there that might work for them. I have resources to share. So when I meet with people, it's not always about, so we're moving you to assisted living next month. No way. Sometimes it's about, are there tools available that can make life a little bit more joyful every day? Erica talked about making your own happiness, choosing happiness. Sometimes that's a proactive move to put something in place to make things a little bit easier. I'll explain the options. I'll walk people through what it would look like to make a move, if that's even something worth considering. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what life is like. Sometimes people think, well, you move when you have to. I don't need to move. I don't need help with anything. I'm very independent. I don't need somebody to do things for me. That very well may be true. But there are other folks that say, but life sure would be easier if I didn't have to worry about cooking, or somebody else did my laundry, or there was just someone nearby in case I needed them. That's also a great reason to consider putting tools in place, having a different setting. It doesn't have to be a reaction to a physical need. And I want to help you plan to achieve your goals. And some people will say, my goal is to stay in my apartment. I love my view. I have a great apartment. I worked with Valerie for a long time to get this apartment, and I am not leaving. Okay, how do we make that happen for you? How do we make that happen? But if the plan is that I always want to have a big apartment, and I always want to have the view of my preference, then I want to have that transparent conversation too. that maybe we talk about that and you share that that's your priority, and then I'll share with you, then we need to be proactive, right? Sometimes folks don't realize that when they do call and say, I think it's time, I'm serious, I want to talk about it, and I'd like a 1-bedroom, and I prefer to face west, and I say, oh, that sounds lovely. But we don't just have a selection of apartments to choose from. Sometimes people say, tell me what you got. Well, let's talk about what I might have next, right? So again, it's about educating, sharing what we can do to help, creating realistic expectations, and for me to understand what your expectation is, right? So that I can make sure we're on the same page. Who would benefit from meeting with me? Planners. If you're a planner, you speak my language. Planners who selected a life plan community purposely. And, I work with Valerie and I work with Dawn and the rest of the sales team. And a lot of people, when they're considering a move into our community, they have questions about, well, what if? And if in 15 years, then what does that look like? But that's often put on the shelf, right? We move in and we make our friends and we're boogieing along with life and we forget to revisit, or it's just not important to revisit what that process looks like. I'm telling you, it is more pleasant to have the conversation when it's casual. Residents who have planned procedures. This is really common. We can help with respite stays. And if you haven't had a procedure, I'm telling you, you might not know what to expect, and I'm happy to provide maybe some guidance, some questions that you could ask your PCP or your specialist, because they might share that your diet's gonna change for a little bit, or that you can't get a wound wet, or that a fall would be really devastating after a surgery. And sometimes just planning ahead to have that buffer around us can help us ensure a safe recovery, and I can help with that. Adult children, friends, POAs, anyone who's curious. Again, I talk with a lot of people who know somebody, and I appreciate, Oh, a power of attorney. Is that familiar? Ducks in a row people? Yeah. A POA is a power of attorney. Yeah, that's the person that you've dedicated to help make decisions in your life for you. And I often work with adult children or close trusted friends. Sometimes they'll reach out to me directly, or sometimes I'll visit with a resident and they'll say, I'm actually getting a little bit more serious about this and I'd like to invite my daughter to come meet you as well. If you've ever had like a serious doctor's appointment and you bring somebody else to be another set of ears and maybe take a note for you, because it's a lot to process. And just let me insert that there's not an expectation that if we sit down, if we schedule 15 minutes for coffee, or we spend an hour together, that I think I'm gonna show up next week and get a check or a signature and this is happening. This is my role here. My role is to meet people and share what I know. And what I know is what I've learned through experience of other people. So I won't pretend to say I've been through it myself, but all these years I've probably worked with thousands of people, and probably someone has been in a similar situation, and I can share what that looked like for them. And that's a lot of what I do. How can you find me? I'm dipping and diving all over the place, but leave me a voicemail on my line. My extension is 3138, or send me an email. And I spend a lot of time visiting people in their apartments. We'll sit and have a cup of coffee, or we'll sit in the Fireside lounge, or if you want to just have a walkthrough. I just want to listen. I just want to learn and share what I know, and get to know more people. I was sharing with somebody earlier that I've never been in a community this long and not known everyone's name, but this is the biggest campus I've been on. There's a lot of opportunity to make friends, and I'd like to be friends with as many people as possible. So please say hello. If you don't remember my name, it's okay. If you're not sure exactly what I do, that's okay. Just poke me, and we'll sit and have a chat. Thanks. You bet.
Clarify what the current situation is with regard to COVID.
Yeah.
People who are in assisted living. We get really mixed messages
Oh,
about
that's a great question, Pam. The question was, what is the situation with COVID up in assisted living right now? So we have 2 floors of assisted living. We don't have any active cases of COVID on the 3rd floor. On the 2nd floor, we do have some people that are recovering from COVID. And I heard someone say yesterday they thought that family couldn't go visit. That's absolutely not true. So we have not asked anyone to stop visiting their loved one. We have said, if you're going to come, please use precaution. And we have asked volunteers and those folks that come casually for visits to pause on coming to the 2nd floor. Just why risk it? But we would never say, lockdown doesn't literally mean nobody can come onto the floor. But we want to be smart about our exposure. And so everyone is recovering right now. Our goal is to not have any new cases pop up. And that's why we ask folks not to come and visit. This is a really big campus. There's a lot of independent living folks too, right? So just trying to minimize the exposure, but we're doing well.
What about people on the 2nd floor coming off the 2nd floor?
So we are actively asking folks to stay on the 2nd floor and not to go out and share something that they might be carrying. Yeah, right? Just like you wouldn't, even your friend with the cold cancels on dinner, says, I just don't want you to get the sniffles, I've got the sniffles, right? So thanks for asking, Pam. Who's up, Andrew?
Thank you. Oh, thank you. This is my nicest pullover. Really, oh, thank you. Really, I just woke up and with my eyes kind of half open, I just reached in and grabbed whatever I could find. Got lucky. I am here to give some wellness updates. As you guys know, I am long-winded. I promise it will be shorter, but you guys know me. So, just a couple things, and even though it's a couple things, they are all important. Very first one is we have a new class schedule, fall class schedule that came out technically a day and a half ago, yesterday. You can find it on HH Connect. I think actually in the announcements page, you can go to the announcements and there's even a link that will take you right there. But there are also paper copies down at the gym that you can take as well. There are a couple big changes. Brian has added a couple new classes. So you should go take it a look, okay? Along with that, we did add a whole new HHTV class schedule. A couple of the classes, once we put them up, we found we're having some noise issues. So we pulled those down, put some old ones up to try to correct some of the audio issues we're having with some of the classes, specifically Suzanne's classes that we all were really excited to get up. We're working on it. We'll get them back on as soon as we can. Are they back up again, Art? Thank you. Look at Risa. But also, I did want to say that if you, like, as we go and change some of the classes, I know there's some people that love some of the older classes. If you ever want to watch any of the older classes, you can do so off of your laptop, off of your computer. I won't click the link right now because it'll take us too long and out of the way, but through HH Connect, you can make your way to wellness, and then as you scroll down on the wellness page, there's a HH classes. You just click on it and boom, it'll pop right up. Nice and easy. Then I just wanted to show some beautiful pictures. Yes, this isn't to show off. It's not to show off, but it is to say that for the next month, things will be a little bit different. So Deborah, starting next Thursday, will be out going to Ireland for the first 3 weeks. Yes, I think her heritage is Irish, and she's going to try to find some of that, which is really exciting for her. But with that, we do have some changes to the classes. Luckily, we're not canceling any classes, and we've talked with our specific classes that this does affect, but we will be showing videos for those classes. Okay, so you still go to the same place, same class, same time as always, but instead of being a real life Deborah, it'll be a video Deborah. But she's been working very hard the last month, recording tons of new videos so that you have something fresh for the next 3 weeks, okay? Then, I am going to Spain, I guess to Europe, might as well say, for 2 weeks at the end of September, start of October. All the classes aren't changing. There's no cancellations. We're going to have Donna come in and help a little bit so that we can keep all the classes running as normal, okay? With that being said, give Brian a big hug when you see him. The poor guy is, going to be doing a little bit extra for the next month. So maybe go a little bit easy on him. But that was, again, just a detail that there are some class changes, but everything is still running as normal, okay? Then my biggest thing is we have a lot of wellness events coming up. I'm going to read through the list really quickly. So one of the big ones is our Berg Balance and Fitness Assessments. A quick rundown of that. Again, they're tests and assessments to see how you personally are doing physically, both balance-wise and overall physical fitness-wise. Tests usually take about 30 minutes. We're just going to do it one day, November 13th, but it's going to be all day. So on that day, which I believe is a Thursday, there will be no classes because we will be administering these tests all day. There will be sign-ups and there will be more that comes out so that you're reminded of it when we get closer to that date. But again, it's a great time for you to come down, get tested so that you can find out specifically for you what you could use a work on. Is it balance? Is it upper body strength? This is a great way to find out what you need the most, and then we can help guide you if that's a class that can help you or if it's a personal training regimen, okay? So again, that's November 13th. Then also we have our acupuncture event. It's kind of happened in this corner as it has in the past, where both Chris's will be here, and they're just going to kind of just give you acupuncture. They're going to talk about it so you can get a deeper understanding of what it does. But that will be September 19th, and again, more and more information will come out about that. Then, on the 12th of September, Aqua Donna is going to come in and give a presentation all about water fitness, and how it can help with preventing falls. I know falls is a very, very large thing here. We want to prevent them. That's number one. So Donna's going to give a talk about why water and aqua fitness specifically is great for helping prevent falls. Then we are going through a small ancillary provider scheduling change. So right now I think you know how you usually go to Jess if like you're going to see the podiatrist or the audiologist, and we book through that. We're trying to change everything over to a single system so that it's easier for you, for us, and the providers. It'll look something similar to like Peel Tech if you have done Peel Tech off of HH Connect. We're going through that process. There's lots of moving parts with all the different providers, but our hope is to have that up and running by the start of next year, end of this year, okay? As we get closer, we'll have more updates about it and how to do it. Then another big one is a how to fall workshop. This is something everybody's been asking for a long time. Divya and I are going to partner together to kind of come up with a workshop of sorts of how to fall. Obviously, the biggest thing is not to fall, right? And so a lot of it is going to be about prevention, but we also understand that there's sometimes we can't prevent it. It's happening. So how do we react? If we're able to react, what are next steps once I have fallen? How do I check on myself? How am I okay? If you are okay, how do we get up? And we'll even talk about and go through and practice a little bit how to do that. When I made the slide, we hadn't picked a date yet, but Divya and I were able to finally choose a date. And it is going to be December 10th from 1 to 2 p.m. And again, as we get closer to that date, I'll make sure that there's lots of updates so you guys know. I'm sure that will be something that will be highly attended. And then finally, I hope you guys saw the wellness newsletter that came out, our kind of, we'll call it summer/fall edition. It came out, I think, last week? Yes, I hope you saw it. It has done by rave reviews, I've heard. The Seattle Times have talked about it, I think. We're going to continue to do them. I hope to have a fall and definitely at least a winter edition coming out, okay? So that's really it for me. Up next is Ruth Ann and Philanthropy. Question. Where's the question? Right behind you.
Find that newsletter
So it was sent via Constant Contact. So that's the major emailing system that we have. So if you have an email that we know of, it goes out to every single email user. We're also working on a way, because it is newsletters are a lot longer and kind of weird to print. We're trying to figure out a way that we can print some copies and post it in like the mail room and down at the fitness center as well. Try looking again, hopefully. I know I got it. Yes. It was sometime last week. I can't remember off the top of my head. Yes. Or the week before. Thank you, Ginny. Yes. Okay, Ruth Ann?
Good morning. I'm Sue Jones. My partner Jack Carr and I are chairs of the Partners in Caring that you hear from us every month. And Ruth Ann Ford is with us today, too, to talk about something. So I just want to let you know that we have received not 347, but just over $350,000 on our way to our $500,000 goal. And we are just so appreciative of the work that you have all done to contribute, and we know that we will get there the way we do every year, and we very much appreciate it. I just wanted to say that this is a year-long goal, so we have 4 months and about $150,000 to raise. So again, we're so appreciative of your help. We support, as you know, the Residence Assistance Program, the staff scholarships. These are both very popular and well loved by all of you who give, I know. And we also do a program of enrichment grants, and that these are funds that support many of the activities that we do and love around here. They happen twice a year, giving grants to people who have applied for them. And Ruth Ann, who's the endowment manager of the philanthropy department, is going to tell you about them.
Hello, my name is Ruth Ann. I work in the philanthropy department, and I have a little friend here, a little kitty, who was an enrichment grant for assisted living. This is a mechanical therapy kitty, and it provides comfort. It also meows and purrs, and very, very sweet. This was a enrichment grant from last spring. Let's see, and just to remind everyone what enrichment grants are, this is a funding source for resident or staff ideas, and it is funded through Partners in Caring. And $25,000 is available in the spring and the fall. And enrichment grants can fund physical items or special events, like the garden event on Monday was an enrichment grant. And more enrichment grants are funding special events because they are so important for community building. So the next deadline is coming up. So please come to me if you have an idea, and if you just have a sliver of an idea even, we can talk about it and work through it and discuss how it could be an enrichment grant. And soon you will see pink ribbons around Horizon House, just like this, and which will highlight past enrichment grants. And also we have a happy hour, I just wanted to note, in the beginning of September 11th. Okay, thank you. And here is Jack.
Those of you who may have come in by the other door, main door, you'll notice a basket there with a lot of information about philanthropy. So on your way out, you may want to pick one of these up and refresh your memory about what this is all about. Remember, the gifts that you provide support for residence assistance, staff scholarships, and enrichment grants. And we appreciate your support. We're thinking about a promotion coming up. And one of the things that we suggest is that if you give a grant between now and the end of the year, you will be entitled to get on our new app for dating here at Horizon House. It's called carbon dating. And if you join up, you have to give a number. Mine is 160/45. Actually, those are punchlines from a very funny comedian, a guy named Andy Huggins. And if you Google Andy Huggins, he's actually someone of our age. And if you Google him, you will have a great time laughing and enjoying the humor. And while you're in a good mood, stop by the philanthropy office and drop off a check. And on your way out, don't forget to pick up one of these, all right? That's it. Oh, by the way, Brian is going to come up and brief us all on new operations.
Thanks, Jack. You know, I already donated, but with this dating app, I might ask my wife if it's okay. Ruth Ann, I can donate again, right? I mean, we have 4 more months where I can convince. It's no problem. We can donate again. We want to lead by example. So thank you. So a few updates is last month I was talking about our landscape contractor and collaborated with the garden committee we did some enhancements on University and Terry Street. So I don't know if you had a chance to walk and see them. We put some money into investing. Landscaping's expensive, but it's worth every penny when we can continue to make our community look beautiful. However, if you look today, it's like, gosh, Brian, why are they digging up the soil out there and the pea gravel? So that is an area that we did not put any improvement plants in, to be honest. And outside, if you exit between the library and the Myrtle Edwards room to the left, all of that soil in that area has been removed, and the irrigation and the pea gravel will almost be all removed by today because, and the insulation, because there's been a leak that sales team can tell you about and Andrew's team can tell you about, that we've been having some leaks because the edge of the building extends out to that edge out there. And unfortunately, the work we did last year didn't repair it all. So that work started this week. And so they are working on that to make those improvements so we don't have any leaks down there anymore. So we hope that this will be the end of it. We've done some extensive testing. We put dye in the water to confirm where it's coming through. So I know that we're excited. Don's team and Andrew's team's excited for us to get that completed as well. And then we will be continuing work out here on the side as well. I've mentioned it before when we were talking about changes that happen with outdoor space and gardening areas. And so we collaborated with the fantastic garden committee. And so all the pea gravel outside here eventually and soon will be replaced because we'll be taking that gravel up and putting pavers out here on the outside, bringing up some of the benches that are down on the C and D level so you have a place to sit. And then we'll be putting these planters that you can see on the screen along the edge of that area and garden plots for residents. They'll actually be using those to, if you were at that fantastic event on Monday that the garden committee spearheaded, which was great, you saw the beautiful gardens, and you're going to have those talented residents placing plants in these planters that are along that area. And so that work will get done. We are looking to get that completed by the end of September so that those, if there's any plants to be relocated, they'll be coming up to that area for our residents. It'll include irrigation, so there's be a lot of beautiful changes along that edge of our building. Another project that's going on, as you may have recalled, Sean applied for and Horizon House received a $200,000 grant from the Department of Commerce, and we're installing electrical vehicle supply equipment, which are chargers. We're putting another 12 in Terry Garage, so some of the individuals that park down there have been notified to have to relocate their vehicles, and we're putting some in University Garage. It'll include adding some painting in that area and to improve the lighting. And the core drilling on some of that, because of the electrical work, will be starting next week, I believe, towards the latter part of next week. However, one of the impacts that will happen is that there will be a power shutdown for the North Tower on September 11th, starting at 5 a.m., and it'll be over by 6 a.m. So if you live in the North Tower, just sleep through it. However, we will have the Central Tower will happen on the 12th, but that's it's not on the screen here, but that'll be from 2 to 3 in the afternoon, but that's only the 3rd floor and down. And so there will be additional information, of course, coming out on this. We had a team meeting yesterday to work on this, and if you know how excellent Emily is on her communications, she has crafted it up. Sean, Chief Engineer, and John Roberts in the projects team are tag teaming on this as the project managers. And so there will be additional information in the alert on HH Connect. You'll get an email. There'll be a tremendous amount of information for you about the impact that you have. For an example, if you're in the North Tower, because all the power is going down, that turn your computers off the night before. Some of these reminders for you what that impact will be. So certainly more information to come on that, and we're very excited to get these additional EV chargers in and take advantage of that grant that Horizon House received. I've been talking about, speaking of EV vehicles, is the car share program, which is very unique to Horizon House. And Bill Roach, I don't know if he's here, was very helpful when we started this project. And the vehicle will be purchased either today or early next week. We're very excited to get a 2025 Ioniq 5. And we'll have more details to share in the Anderson Hall a month from today. Well, it'll be on a Monday, on September 29th, so that we'll have the program ready to be rolled out for residents. And this is unique for a community like ours to be able to do this, and the complications of it, between insurance and attorneys and the paperwork and collaborating with the company took quite some time. Christy, who Erica mentioned isn't here, was very helpful working with me to get this to where we are. And then we'll be turning this over for you residents to be able to take advantage of. As we know, we'll be challenged with parking. And if you don't drive your car a lot, this may, we hope, be a great option for you so we can free up more of the parking space, perhaps for others and for our guests in the future. I have been working with the West Wing decommissioning, and just for those residents that have a storage locker in the West Wing, we had a conversation with a number of you a while ago, and we sent out a memo and some dates for meetings for each of you to have an appointment with Segway. And so I have, because the way the lockers are set up on G level and F and up on C and D, the appointments we pre-loaded for all of you and sent that out, but there have been a few minor adjustments, and I'm almost done with those residents that requested a change. However, next week, we will be calling all the impacted residents that have an appointment to remind you when your appointment is, so that you can have that opportunity to meet with Segway to get those lockers, modest inventory like I talked about, and get ready for you. So that's about a third of our community, not everybody, but I wanted to take the opportunity when I was here this morning to remind folks about that. With that, we're going to turn it over back to Erica, who's going to close us out with some announcement and bright spots. I have a question, so as Erica's making her way up, Mark's going to grab a microphone and make his way over to Sam. Thanks, Mark. I just have a couple, but you can come on up and be with me. Just a couple questions. Sorry.
Brian, the power shutdown that you mentioned for the Central Tower from 2 to 3 in the afternoon, will that affect the operation of the elevators?
It will. We will still have elevator operation in the Central and East Tower. We will have on Unlike the North Tower, Central Tower will have the generator functioning for some of our functionality, whereas the North Tower will not. Question?
So that means the elevators in the North Tower will be down from 5 to 6, let's say?
That is correct.
Okay, my question is, how many people in the North Tower have a CPAP machine or other medical device that relies on power? I mean, I do, and also chargers for things like hearing aids. My guess is a short outage for that will be okay, but CPAP machines, I will not be sleeping through that outage.
Yeah, so part of, we talked about some of those nuances in our meeting that will be inclusive in Emily's communication for people to think about. And just for your information, if we're in this 1 hour, we're in the power shutdown, and the team will have two-way radios. We have electricians on site. A number of our engineers will be on site. And we hear that, let's say there's a medical event in the North Tower, we will abort and immediately put the power back on. If we have our fire life and safety equipment will be functioning. If, heaven forbid, we have something like that with our fire panel, we will abort and can quickly put the power back on. It is a small panel subset that we are replacing. If you think about it, it's like a light bulb in this room. We're turning all of the power off so that we can replace the light bulb. If there's a problem, we put that back in and we can re-energize, and we anticipate it may not even take an hour, but thank you for your questions. We are taking it very serious, doing it very early in the morning, and anticipate it going successfully as we have done in the past. Okay, Erica, now you can come back up. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. All right. I am going to invite Don up to give the West Tower update. Come on up, Don.
Happy Blue Friday. Oh, no, it's not. That's next week. I'm sorry. The Seahawks play next week. Happy Purple Friday in Crimson. Go Huskies and go Cougs, right? Football's starting. Thank you, Erica. You know I love a microphone. And Jack, where are you? I'm bringing you into sales, okay? We got a spot for you. I get to do the update. That number is incorrect that you see on the board. We hit 104 yesterday. Hang on. And Eric and I are probably reading an email that came in to us about 15 minutes ago that we hit 105. So we just took another one, 105, and I know Anita's working on another one, and I'm leaving you to work on one myself. So we're moving right along. We did announce Alicia's a part of our team. We're so proud and honored to have her. But I'm looking through this room, and we're going to continue, as salespeople do, to ask for your help. For 64 years, the success has been you and folks before you sharing the good word of Horizon House. So continue to do that. We know the best referrals or the best prospects out there are your referrals. And we're going to continue to make it easy for you. I do have some events coming up with, they're not my events, they're our events, in September. And I have a flyer, so if you want to take a flyer and share it with friends, you can. We also have a webinar. Every event we do is on our website, horizonhouse.org, and they will now be in the alert as well. So we're going to continue to ask for your help, because we know the best residents are your friends, your family, maybe your doctors, whoever. We want them all. So we're going to continue to ask for them. And yes, I want to say one more thing. Last night was a huge success. It was a great opportunity to meet potential West Tower folks, and I know Roger and Connie are not here because they were up late last night, so they may still be sleeping, but they did a great job. So have a wonderful weekend. Don't be a stranger. Come down and see us in the sales department. The model's down there. Our door's always open to you. So thanks again.
And Don, where are you going to leave those for folks?
I'll be in the back.
Okay.
Or there'll be some in the mail room. So I'll be back there handing them out like candy.
All right. Thank you.
Or maybe not candy. Maybe hot tips.
All right, so a couple of announcements. We are having our second annual equity luncheon on Wednesday, October 22nd. What is an equity luncheon? I have heard from many of you since I've gotten here, and I will have to tell you, I think this is one of the most popular questions of our potential West Tower residents. What's going on with diversity at Horizon House? People want to know. And so it is not a diversity luncheon, it's really an equity luncheon, because it is around sharing information with communities who might never hear about life plan communities. And we, of course, need your help. Last year, we had about 25 people attend the luncheon here in Anderson Hall, where we just simply shared what senior living options were. It was a great luncheon. Many people said, my group of friends, we're not having these conversations. And we said to people, if you're not proactive, like Bonnie said, if you're not proactive about, your options and experience, the experience will choose you. And the choice isn't going to always be something that you're interested in. And I'll tell you, now more than ever, we are today 600,000 units behind what our current demand is in senior housing. That is just slated to get far worse. And that's a national statistic from the National Investment Center on Senior Housing. And so people will start to be in a situation where they don't have choices. And then I want to say one more thing. There are lots of people who say, stay in my house, get care if I need it. Not going to be possible. There's not enough workforce. Not enough workforce. So having a congregate setting where you can have, a less caregivers to resident ratio than that 1-to-1 at home, this is going to be a great opportunity for people in the future. But we need table captains. And so there is going to be an article in the Alert announcing this. And what a table captain is basically someone who says, I'll sit at the table and I'm going to invite people. I'm going to invite my network. And who do we want to come to this? We want people who are from diverse backgrounds or have the ability to influence diverse communities. It is not a sales event, it's an informational event. It's part of our outreach and our duty to help people think about their future. And we hope our ultimate goal is, we hope that people do, as they're thinking, choose us. So if you have friends of diverse backgrounds and you say, I can't be a table captain, I only know 2 people, that's okay too. Please share their contact information with either myself or Diane Chung, who's our sales events coordinator, by September 26th. But if you'd like to host a table, then we invite you to. Please just let us know by Friday, September 12th, so we can start to plan. All right, we have upcoming vaccine clinics. I know everybody heard in the news the other day just some of the challenges with some people not going to be able to have their vaccines covered, but thank goodness you all are. So we are coordinating with Easterns to return to Horizon House. We don't have a date just yet, but we know it'll be in October to provide both flu and COVID vaccines. And we know COVID is still, ugly and rearing its head, so we want to make sure we're up to date, as well as we never know, what the flu season brings. I just always like to let you know when I'll be out of the office. I will be out of the office on Monday, and then I'll be out of the office September 16th and 19th. Both Christy and I will be out then for the Ziegler Conference. And Ziegler is our investment banker who is helping us with financing. They have a phenomenal conference every year that really talks about kind of the financial landscape and all kinds of other helpful information that we can learn, and it helps us serve Horizon House community better. Talk a little bit about bright spots. We have so many. We had a wonderful volunteer appreciation and assisted living, thanks to Ildiko, who put that together. And we focus on, thanking all of those who spend time supporting the residents in assisted living. We had a great visit with Katie Smith-Sloan, who's the president of Leading Age National. It was her first time visiting Horizon House. She just had glowing things to share. And kind of as a twofer, we ended up having the vice president of public policy at Leading Age Washington spend the entire day with us as well. So enamored with what she saw. After the luncheon, which was all she was supposed to attend, she said, well, can I stay the rest of the day too? So, you all are magnetic. So thank you to everyone who made their visit special. Brian Holtz, anybody else here who's from the Employee recognition team, thank you, thank you, thank you. We had a phenomenal employee staff picnic last week, which is so impressive to me. I know many of you might have worked for companies that had these kind of wonderful opportunities to celebrate team members, but most places don't have that now. But Horizon House still does. Brian grilled for every shift, so everybody could have fresh burgers, cheeseburgers, veggie burgers, hot dogs. He kept that grill going. We had fun games, and just overall a time to have a time out and have some camaraderie with our team members. They won great gifts, including extra PTO. So it was a great event, very great event, all the way up until the end of third shift. We had a great time. So thank you. All right, so we are right on the nose, but if there's questions, I'm here. So please, if you have any questions or comments, let us know and we'll bring the mic around.
Erica, for your equity luncheon or event, what age is appropriate? Like, I can think of some people who are still on the young side for considering this, but they could be appropriate.
I will tell you, not children, but right. You know, if you're 40 plus, it's never too early to start thinking about it. Many of you told me that as soon as you turn 50, you got your name on the wait list here. You know, when you have a lot more time to put a lot more in your 403B or 401k, the more time you have, the better. So, you know, please invite them. All right, well, please go enjoy the farmers market today and enjoy this holiday weekend. Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.